Bring him to the line, boys. Here we go again. This time, race 2, 12 laps of action coming your way. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting stuff here. It's day 2 of the Top Gear Festival, and it's race 2 of Bridgestone Production Cars.
Yeah, not even Clarkson, May or Hammond are getting around this racetrack at the speeds our boys are.
And I can see that we're going to outshine them slightly here as we get on board with Melville Priest. Remember, turn 1 and turn 2 are going to be under yellow, so it's line astern until we get to the first of the chicanes where the green flag comes out, and that's where we're racing for proper.
I've got to tell you, I'm quite impressed by the fact that what Melville Priest is doing in the Audi. He's not that far off the pace, and he's kept it out of trouble, which bodes well for him and the car and the championship at stake.
So Van der Linde off the line. Behind him will be Stephen. Then it'll be Melville Priest. Behind Melville Priest, you'll have to slot in there will be Darren Lobb. Chop Sapuka in the second of the Engine Extreme Audis coming through turn 1 now as they're heading to the battlefield for the first time. And under anger, we go on board with Henny Groenewald and the Sassel Subaru Works STI.
Great Durban support out here from the Durban public, witnessing what we are about, bringing you elite motor racing to the streets of Durban. Through the chicane they go, and of course you've got to keep very, very on the right-hand side of that, otherwise problems. We saw that earlier with Gavin Grenier.
Yeah, big left-hander now, and down to the 90-degree right-hander, Darren Lobb, keeping Chop Sapuka out, and Henny Groenewald. So this is a good drive here from him. Remember, he would have been here a couple of years ago, and he would have been in a single-seater. The Shelby Can-Am driver now in the Pertec BMW, and giving it everything he can. Class T heating up right from the word go, as Michael van Rooyen tries to get ahead of both of the Fords. He's got through on 1, he's now trying on the 2nd.
Turn 3 it is, and of course they'll have that little chicane coming up where they're going to get through, and then on the way down to 4 as well, so the speeds are picking up. They're getting used to this, and more importantly, a little bit of rubber on the racetrack.
Yeah, looking good, and lap times have come down dramatically, so you can see just with a bit of extra time out on the circuit, and I think that's what's going to be called for the next time we come here, because I'm sure we're going to be coming back. We put on such a great show as they come through turn 1. Groenewald on the back end of Chop Sapuka, trying to close down on him, but just doesn't seem to have the pace down here in Durban, like we saw earlier on, and why he is the current championship leader.
Well, it is unusual because these cars, the Subarus that we're talking about from Pennard and Henny Groenewald, do perform well. We know they perform well at the coast. This is the coast.
Now, unfortunately, just not getting to grips, and you can understand why with only a couple of... oh, there's a move. From Marto sneaking through and gets ahead of Van Rooyen. Now, Van Rooyen was looking to do that to Germany. He wasn't able to do it. The Opel also battling slightly here. But, of course, Williams Hunt team will be on that car and getting it ready for Pakisa.
Yeah, you know what? The Fords are not at their best at the moment. I mean, Gary Van Marto will be the first one to tell you, just looking at the lap times as well. They're battling on the front grip as well, so not having a great weekend so far. Yeah, he'll be the first to tell you that they just need the points. They'll get out of Dodge here with what they can get.
Gennaro Bonafide, though, he's very happy where he is right now, leading out for Rodo GTI 6 versus Indy Oil GTI 5, then the 2 Fords, and it's Duhamel and Famato. So the hometown boy is in 3rd place and sneaking up onto the podium ahead of his teammate. Whether that's going to stay the same or is he going to give him an opportunity to possibly sneak through.
So Van Rooyen at the back of these 2 Fords at the moment, trying to do what he needs to do, which is get points, not having a great weekend so far. But early days, anything could happen here.
Michael van Rooyen is going to be closed down if he doesn't get a little bit of a move on, though, because Gavin Grenier in that damaged Mini John Cooper Works is just behind this car, and look at how the Fords are pulled away there from the Williams Hunt OPC. You can see these 3 cars, unfortunately, not in their swan song down in Durban, but definitely just out there to get as many points in the bag, considering the fact that, once again, the championship leader is on the sideline.
Well, if you're talking points, Greg, as you were just a moment ago, I mean, we're looking at Famato behind Dumini. The points are valuable for Famato. I guarantee that Dumini's going to let him through.
Now, that's probably what we're going to see. It's teamwork there between the 4 drivers at the front end, though, of Class A. It's all about Etienne van der Linde. 2 Audis behind him. Then the Pertec BMW of Darren Lobb in 4th place. Brilliant drive there from the Lobster. If they come down onto the braking mark, because Chop Sapuka is behind him, hasn't found a way past just yet.
I don't think we've given him enough credit, Lobb that is, because, I mean, this is only his 2nd round, and he's doing a sterling job in that Pertec BMW.
Considering the fact that it's a circuit that nobody knows, and he's learnt it very quickly and has managed to fly the flag high there, not only for his team, but for BMW in general.
Class T, and there's the leader at the moment, Gennaro Bonafide in that GTI 6. There's the Golf 5 of the Stiglet, and the 2 Fords are having a lot to do to chase down, and so is Michael van Rooyen.
They're really battling with conditions now, but I think it's going to be settling and surviving for the day and taking home the championship points, as we said. As they come down onto turn 2, look in the background there. Another man who's had some street race experience here in Durban, Gavin Grenier and the Castrol Mini. Last time out, he was in a Formula Volkswagen styled car known as A3, which then eventually became Formula Volkswagen. And of course, we'll see the Formula Volkswagens next week in action here from Durban.
Yeah, but Fomato's been here as well, and so has Lobb.
lots of experience when it comes to street circuit racing, and that's why these guys are getting to grips with these conditions and the circuit so well. Getting to the closing stages now at the front end. No one has had an answer yet to Etienne van der Linde, and it doesn't look like Chop Sapuka has found a way past that Pertec BMW of the Dazzler.
So the Top Gear Festival at the street race in Durban. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but have you seen the physique of the Stig, the British Stig? And then you kind of look at Gary van Martin and you kind of go,
Right, so let's not go too far into that one, but we know Michael Schumacher was bussed as the Stig, so it could be him because there was that particular Mercedes-Benz that drove around this circuit. Anyway, at the front end, it's Michael Stephen and, of course, Etienne van der Linde battling hard now for the honours. Third place, Melville Priest. He'll be very happy with this, and this is a great recovery from him, considering the fact that he's had such an up-and-down season.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think he's having a sterling weekend as well, and of course he loves it down here too.
Coming through there, that is fourth place. Fifth place is the second of the Engine Extreme Audis, and Chop Sapuka pushing hard, but not able to find a way through. You can see just how difficult it is. Pole position, we spoke about in qualifying, so important to get. And you can take a race victory from it. And if you don't get good drive coming out of 5 and onto that back straight, there's no way you're going to find a way past any of these cars unless you do a do or die dive, like we saw from Germany. Yeah, alliteration aside there.
So the big news is that Groenewald hasn't been on the money or on his game this weekend, which is going to allow Michael Stephen to bag some points and close the gap.
John Mayer moving over as Gennaro Bonafide's GTI 6 comes flying around his outside. I think Jacques Joubert will probably get him by the time they get to turn 1, and I think that's exactly what Germany and Formato will be looking to do early on. You can see that it's changed up there. Formato's in third, Michael van Rooyen now fifth place, closing in on Germany.
Yeah, I think also Mayer mentioning that BMW as well. A lot of BMWs out there. I think he's doing the right thing. He's not on the pace, so he's just staying out of trouble.
Good move there, not a bad effort there from the Tricor machine as they head through into turn number 3. Little chicane coming out of 3, and now onto the big left-hander. This is where you can give it everything she's got, and Michael van Rooyen, watch him close down now as he gets onto Germany. Germany will be looking and expecting that BMW to come into sight any second. They might be able to do him on the brakes. No, they're not going to get there just in time. They'll have to wait until they go through the chicane.
So through they go, line astern, and Michael van Rooyen chased him down, as Greg has said, and just in the front of that, of course, the two cars, the youngsters of Gennaro Bonafide, just a little older than young Jacques Joubert.
Joubert just having a sterling weekend. He is loving life down here and probably going to be crowned the king of the streets of Durban. Michael van Rooyen, he is working so hard in this Williams Hunt OPC. You can see it's just not his day today. But remember, we're going to Pakisa Freeway, and last time we went to the Pakisa Freeway for Bridgestone Production Cars, he was right at the front.
What are they going to do with all that space?
Exactly. You're going to get to the track and go, man, we love Pakisa. Hard braking for turn 1. Turns in. This is the lead, second place, I should say, and actually coming under pressure from third. So Formato has upped his game here slightly, and the Stigler has got his work cut out for him in these last couple of laps.
Yeah, I noticed that gap getting smaller and smaller. I mean, and I think Formato made a mistake earlier on, close to the start of this as well. So he's spent most of the race trying to actually claw back that gap, and is now bringing pressure to bear on the Stigler, but I don't think he's got enough.
Michael Stephen looking to possibly take overall victory, but he's going to have to be closer than that, than what he is right now, I should say, as they come into turn 2. Powers on and gets behind the BMW, but hasn't closed him down. And you can see in the background a nice battle for third there. Still hasn't been sorted out just yet. As Melville Priest looks in his rearview mirrors, he's going to see the second of the Engine Extreme Audis. Just ahead of that, the Pertec BMW, and that is Darren Lobb at the wheel.
You know, just looking at these TV shots at the moment right now, Greg, it just looks like we're watching an international race. It's the same sort of stuff. It's our mini Monaco, so to speak.
Yeah, it's brilliant to be on a street circuit, and I think a lot of the drivers have reveled to be here and enjoyed every minute of it. Some of the guys walking away with a big bill, but unfortunately that's what happens when it comes to a street race type circuit. You can get lots of damage, but you can also get lots of prizes and lots of accolades.
So BMW versus Audi, or vice versa. Those are the two big guns that are battling it out today, and it's been a royal battle, really, between Van der Linde and Michael Stephen, as we're being shown right now.
Third place comfortable, fourth place still up for grabs there between Lobb and Sapuka. Big crowds, and that's what we love about coming to Durban. They are so hungry for motorsport. And in the front end of T, well, you can see Formato hasn't got past just yet, but he is definitely hassling the Stiglet, and Joubert is all over his wing mirrors and nearly takes one off there on the concrete barrier.
I get the feeling that the handling from the GTIs is just so, set up to this racetrack. The Fords are battling a little bit, but the GTIs look so comfortable here.
Well, you can hear it from the man himself. Formato was saying that, you've got to drive the car, you've got to turn the car, and you've got to accelerate the car with those front wheels. And unfortunately, if it's not in pristine condition, you're not going to get good drive.
So Van der Linde on a march for a good result right now. And Michael Stephen has clearly, visually closed that gap.
Yeah, he's definitely getting onto the back end and onto those Akrapovic exhausts as they come across the line to complete another lap. We've got just over the halfway mark completed now and a couple of laps still to go. So it's still not done and dusted yet as they come onto the braking markers for turn one. They're starting to close in onto back markers, and Michael Stephen is praying that those back markers are going to help him out.
Well, if we think about the first race, roundabout or just before, a lap before, we had incidents. Right now, we're getting through race 2 without any incidents so far. That is good news.
Now, let's see if we can keep it all together now, boys. Let's not get the commentators cursed. There are the back markers we're talking about. The Jive GTI of Abraham Levy. Here's Modak, the EPS Courier Services Audi A4. That's the non-supercharged version. And I think just behind there, it was the leaders, so they're not too far off.
Modak very lucky to still be here because he did collect the wall quite heavily, and it's remarkable that the team got that car back out.
Famada having a look around the outside as they come down towards turn one. Let's see if he's able to do anything. No, Jabir just hangs on. It's the cool thing about being in the front. You can dictate the line that the driver behind you has to take, and it's going to take a large set of the lower part of your anatomy to make a maneuver on this circuit.
Yeah, and it's not like Jacques is going to allow Famada to bully him. I mean, there's just no room to.
Not anymore. I think in the earlier stages, Jabir would have probably felt a bit of pressure from the more experienced driver. Not anymore, though. He is definitely out there and one of the best drivers we've got out there.
Well, you mean when he was still around calling everybody uncle?
Yes, exactly. No longer uncle out there. Now it's every man for himself, and Jabir is flying that India Oil flag high and keeping the Ford out for now.
Well, it could be said that because of all the incidences, a lot of the other cars and drivers didn't have a good opportunity to set down fast times. We saw that happen in Class A, but you can't take anything away from Jacques this weekend.
No, he's had it absolutely perfect. Famato pushing hard and trying to drive around the problems that he's had, and he's done a superb job of that too. Yeah, we can see Class A catching onto the back end of Class T, and that is, that's Gavin Cronier and John Mayer. Now let's see if these cars are going to be hindered in any way. You can see Van der Linde slightly hindered coming into the right-hander onto the back straight. He has to wait until the Mini's out of his way, then powers on, and that's allowed Michael Stephen to close right up on him. Look at that. Side by side, Michael Stephen goes flying past as they cross the start-finish line.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of yellows being flown out here, but the flag that is the most being shown at the moment is the blue flag.
Which means that Foster cars are coming through, so move out of the way if you can. Hold your line is the normal rule. Michael Stephen, he's sideways there, and he's slowing. Michael Stephen is slowing. There's a problem on the car. Oh, looks like, yes, the Mini's gone past him. Michael Stephen has got a problem on the Audi.
Disastrous. This is absolutely disastrous. What is going on? Missed a gear? No, that couldn't be a gear miss. I mean,
he's come straight back.
Unbelievable.
Something went wrong on the car. It looked like it stalled completely. He got the car fired up again and retakes the Mini, but he's lost the ground now to Etienne van der Linde. And blue flag's waving, as you said, but it's not going to help out Michael Stephen. But look in the background. Mayer gets out of it completely. Here comes Melville Priest. This is third place on the road, still behind the Castrol Mini of Gavin Cronier, who holds his line, which is the rule of thumb when it comes to being a back marker and being passed by the Foster car. It's not up to you to find a way past, it's up to Melville.
Well, how brilliant was Gavin Cronier? Because, I mean, he blew past Michael Stephen in the Audi. Obviously a problem there. And then the next moment, he had the foresight to be looking in the mirror to allow Stephen to come back at him.
And he's done exactly the same thing here as he allows Melville Priest, Darren Lobb, and watch for Chop Sapuka. It'll be the third of those Class A cars coming past Gav. Gav just out there, and he's trying to keep the Mini nation happy out there, but unfortunately, it looks like it might be a little bit too late as Van der Linde takes the checkered flag and race 2 victory in Class A.
What a great result and what a fantastic weekend it's been for Bridgestone Production Car Championship Racing. But it's not over. Here comes your winner, Class T, Gennaro Bonafide, the monkey, finally off the back.
Yeah, hallelujah for that one. And you can see on the left-hand side there, the Monster Boys are happy with his performance as they goes flying past and now comes into the final turn. He's got enough room there to start showboating slightly. They're not going to get a sort of a slow-down lap to go and thank the crowd, so it's now or never time, and that's exactly what Gennaro's doing. Across the line. Sideways City. What is Surf City? You're allowed to surf across the line. It's tarmac surfing.
But you need a board.
Well, Gennaro Bonafide, a very happy man. As you said, the monkey is off his back, and Ferodo GTI 6 takes its first victory. But the man of the moment and the king of the streets has got to be the Stiglet, Jacques Jabert.
So we're going to get some confirmation of those results for race number 2. It's just turned out to be such a spectacular day. So, here we have it. Etienne van der Linde, Class A. Michael Stephen, second. Melville Priest, Darren Lobb, Chop Sapuka.
Anthony Taylor comes through for 6. Modak and Henry Krunevold with John Mayer down in 9th, a lap down.
Race 2. I said all weekend you were looking menacing, and you proved me right. Well done, Super Drive, and the winner setting the fastest time also out there in a rear-wheel drive BMW Team Afrox Eddie van der Linde. It doesn't get better than this.
No, not much. Yeah, coming from a dismal Swartkops round, we worked quite a bit on the car, preparing it for you, and yeah, it went well yesterday. We didn't do a full quali, but still ended up second. But as everyone knows, qualifying on pole is key around the street circuit, and so basically I had half the job done this morning when I stuck it on pole, and yeah, the car just ran like a clockwork this afternoon, and I just managed the gap between me and Michael, and yeah, great result. Pity we're not scoring full points for this round, but I'll take the win.
What was the difference? I mean, we saw it visually in terms of the gap between you and Eddie and van der Linde. It just didn't seem like you had enough to close it.
Yeah, you know, I was a bit conservative at the start. You know, I just wanted to make sure I made it around lap 1 and then, you know, go racing from there. I closed him down towards the end. Second last lap, I was pretty much right on him coming onto the back straight. My car, for some unknown reason, just cut out of turn 1. You know, I just did a quick emergency, switch everything off, switch everything back on, jump start and go again. So we'll obviously investigate that. I think it cost us overall win for the day, but, you know, coming with a pole win in the second, you know, is a good points haul for the championship.
Happy, no doubt.
Yeah, sure. You're always going to be happy. You know, we had a fairly average weekend building up to it. Quite slow on Friday, but we managed to put ourselves nicely up there in qualifying, both qualifyings, and then you just hold on in the race, you know. It's wonderful coming to Durban to a street race, you know. Year in, year out, we race the same circuit, so to have something as magnificent as a setting, yeah, and with Moses Mabhida and all the walls so close by, it's good fun. You've got to love it,
I think everybody in Durban loved the action that was provided by Bridgestone Production Cars. Etienne van der Linde taking race 2's victory and about to be roosted by the 2 Audi counterparts.
So typical of a BMW driver, can't get the cork out.
Eventually does and gets his revenge. Gennaro Bonafide wins out. Official results there. Jacques Durban second, Gary Vermaata third, Germany fourth, and Gavin Cronier in the Mini. 1 lap down in 5th.
Abraham Levy picking up the second last place, and then Michael van Rooyen disappointing in 7th. A great race result here in Durban. You and the team, I think it was worthwhile.
No, for sure. You know, I mean, today we came out here to Durban. It was a big festival, you know, with Top Gear here, and it was a great opportunity to just go out there, an unknown track for everybody, and a level playing field, and just to go and show how it is. But, you know, can't thank the team enough. You know, Ferrero brakes was phenomenal throughout the whole race. I had no brake fade towards the end. So today, I was in control.
Yeah, I think they will all be clamoring out there for the exact same brake pads because a lot of them lost the brakes out there. And that's a scary thought around this racetrack.
No, for sure. With all the walls and everything, you know, you can never really push too hard. Even in the lead, that was one of the longest races I've ever had. I mean, going out there and on the radio, it says, okay, your lead is 3 seconds. Keep going. But you got to focus and you got to just between the walls the whole time. But just, you know, I'm glad. You know, we now got the monkey off our back. And we can push forward.
The team, India Oil, and yourself, it's a personal milestone. You must feel really happy.
I'm really fortunate to be here. The track is being technical. It's one of the most challenging tracks ever because if you make one mistake, you can end right there. And the car has been superb. Everything has just fallen into piece perfectly. Everything's just went too amazing.
It just seems like that dogged bad luck is hunting you again.
Look, I don't believe in bad luck or good luck. You know, you make your luck whichever way you choose it to go. So, yeah, we've got to just get the car going better. I think that from a handling point of view, we were off the pace all day. And, of course, we had issues this morning which didn't allow us a proper attempt at qualifying. And then that just kills you, you know. I think that we could have probably had a go at Gennaro. We'll race with Gennaro today. I think the car was good enough for that. But you know, as you said, you know, once you get behind somebody, the brakes start going, and it was 2 laps to go. I thought, you know what, let's rather just finish this race, take the car in one piece. I think we'll be doing a good job if we do that this weekend. So it was a little frustrating. I expected a better result this weekend. I certainly would have liked a better result this weekend. But we'll go to the next one and see what happens.
Gennaro on top. Alongside him, Gary Vermaata gets the best of both.